Gurley Arcilla Trinidad, and my manager, Thomas, is right here. So I'm doing a comparative analysis between Cathay Pacific and Emirates. My internship is actually here at Cathay Pacific, and I am a passenger service agent. So I want to start off with the, next slide please. I want to start off with the mission statement. So Cathay Pacific's mission statement is, our vision is to be the world's best airline. Being the best means that we always strive to excel in everything we do. Our dynamic team provides the highest quality service so that our customers are happy they chose Cathay Pacific. And for Emirates' mission statement is, we exist to deliver the world's best in-flight experience. So I actually want to emphasize on the mission statement for Emirates. They want to focus on the in-flight experience. So it tells me that that's the only service they want to focus on, whereas for Cathay Pacific, they want to strive in everything that we do. So not only in-flight, but also we want to provide exceptional customer service on the ground as well. Yes, next slide please. So I'm going to talk a little bit of customer service. At Cathay Pacific, we accommodate to the passenger as much as we can. So if, for example, if a passenger has an overweight bag, we use our best judgment to see if we should allow the passengers to onboard their luggages or not. And then for Emirates, they're more strict. They're more stern, so they have to have a 23 maximum or lower. Otherwise, they're going to have to remove their excess. And as told by Simon, our manager the manager on duty for Emirates, they are strict with passengers, but I'm going to give another example a little bit later. So for this comparative analysis, the tool that I use is the customer service feedback, which Emirates doesn't have, unfortunately, that I wasn't able to use for this project. Next slide. So I'm going to talk about the check-in, which is from our customer survey feedback. And as mentioned in the previous slide, the carry-on allowance is 7 kilos with 1 personal item. For Emirates, they follow this. They follow this strictly. For Cathay Pacific passengers, sometimes we're pretty lenient with passengers who have 1 carry-on or 2 personal items. We want to accommodate to the passengers' needs. But then Simon, he said they don't allow that at all with Emirates. And I know that can be inconvenient for passengers, or passengers won't really be happy with that. So, yes. To have more speed and efficiency, we promote the kiosk so it's more convenient, not only for the passengers, but for employees as well when we check them in. So I actually observe Emirates and Cathay Pacific check-in processing time, and I observed 17 passengers with multiple agents, and on an average, we check in passengers, it takes us 4 minutes and 47 seconds, and Emirates takes 5 minutes and 18 seconds. And I wonder, why is it that we're a little bit faster than Emirates? And it's because we're utilizing the kiosk, so it helps a lot with checking them in. And once we finish going around the counter, and once we finish taking care of the passenger, we go around the corner and approach the passenger approach them when they're in line. But for Emirates, they stay behind the counter and just wave to the passenger to let them know that they're ready for them. But in my opinion, I don't think that provides great customer service. One thing, or they have a few things in common with Emirates and Cathay Pacific. Yes, grading is important. Um, we also, we and Emirates acknowledges passengers right away. And we are able, and passengers are actually able to check in online 48 hours before. But I was actually looking at comments and feedback on what passengers say about Emirates, and they said that even if they're the first one to check in online, they're still like last priority, or they sit all the way in the back. So it doesn't matter if you sit or if you check in first, no matter what. Like it depends on the ticket that they buy. Next, please. So we have an appearance standard here at Cathay Pacific. We use the term GAG, which means greeting, attitude, grooming. We believe that it's really important, but I'll go into that because I will show the graphs for it later. And then for Emirates, they're more casual. So yes, they have a uniform requirement, but the grooming isn't as important as Cathay Pacific, such as hair standards. Next, please. So I actually took a photo of Emirates and Cathay Pacific. As you can see, both of their dividers they stand out, but I believe we can do better, which I will actually explain in my recommendation slide. So moving on to the boarding gate, Emirates has a bigger aircraft, so that's the reason why they board 50 minutes before, whereas we board 40 minutes before. First class, and for Emirates, first class has their own side, because when I was speaking to Simon, he said the reason why they have their own side is so they can have more privacy. But for Cathay Pacific, first class, business class, and sometimes premium, they're on the same side. So there's pros and cons when it comes to boarding for both airlines. When they board, wheelchairs are first, but even with families with infants, they're not allowed to board because Emirates has so many families with infants that it just takes the process longer to board. And for us, we board wheelchair and infants because we don't have that many infants compared to them. And the boarding gate, what they have similar is that they board from the back to the front, but Emirates, the last priority is actually premium economy, which is, I find it odd because for us, we believe that premium economy passengers should have more priority before economy. The announcements are very clear, they're very informative, and they also have signs for passengers to know like when to board, who to board, and where to board. The only thing I see the difference when it comes to boarding passengers is the culture, because I noticed that Cathay Pacific, a lot of the passengers stand up, not even listening to their seating numbers, but I believe it's because of the language barrier, where Emirates, their passengers they mostly speak English, so it's easier for them to understand when to board. Next. So for the methodology, I want to ask, what does the customer survey say about SFO, Cathay Pacific? How will changing the stanchion affect the lines? And what are 6 benefits of efficient queue management? So if you go to the next slide, I actually included the findings. So right here, this is actually the graphs that I found or that I was given last month. Yes, and the queuing time and our check-in staff attitude is pretty low, so we want to focus on those areas and maintain the other scores in other areas. So as members for Catholic Pacific, we want to be the best, but how can we be the best? That's what the survey is for. That's how we can receive good feedback. And for the second question on how we can better the queuing line, so right here is actually how our queuing or stanchions are set up. And because since summer is coming up, I believe if we do it like this, it eliminates the space and it'll look fuller too. As you can see, 23 people versus 30 people. So that's actually one of the research I found online. And then for the 6 benefits of having a better queue management, one, it says monitor passenger arrival rate. So that means monitoring our queue in real time, informing passengers through our app how many passengers are in line at the moment and what's the waiting time. I believe that will give them a better insight on like when to come or when not to come. 2, measure peak times and seasonality. So having a system that allows us to know what the busy days and times are like, comparing our sales to date from last year, I think that will be a good insight for us because we'll be able to understand like, okay, today is going to be a busier day. 3, count the total number of passengers waiting in each queue. So at the counter, agents and managers, I would suggest agents and managers continue to observe the line and redirect the queues accordingly, which we already do. We should just want to maintain that. 4 is assess average waiting times of passengers in queue. So similar to how I time Cathay Pacific and Emirates agents on how they on how long they process the check-in times, I think we want to give managers should be able to give feedback to employees, because if they're taking a long time when there's a long line, then we want the managers to give them feedback like, oh, what's wrong? Why are you taking long? Is there something that you need help? So just checking up on the agents. 5, manage passenger expectations. So I believe that displaying estimated queuing time would help, like utilizing counter's header or lobby agents informing passengers that are waiting in line, like, okay, just to let you know that it's going to take 5 or 10 minutes until you proceed to the check-in counter. And then 6 is analyzing which sections take longer, so that way we can understand a better ratio between economy, backdrop, premium economy, business, and first class. Next page. So in conclusion, reason why I compare Cathay Pacific to Emirates is because when I was looking at what are the top 10 airlines, I actually found that Emirates is the #1 international airline in the world. I thought it would be a great way to see what they do that's more efficient than us. However, here at SFO, after observing them, getting to know them, and comparing them to us, I believe we are more efficient and more caring towards the passengers, because we definitely use our customer feedback, and we always talk about it during the briefing to let agents know, like, oh, what can we work on, what can we maintain, and so forth. And next, please. So I recommend that in order to maintain number one for Cathay Pacific in all ports, I believe we should have more customer interaction. So acknowledging passengers who are waiting in line. For example, when I used to work for Bath and Body Works and I was at the cashier, I would let the customers know in line, like, oh, don't worry, we'll be right with you, thank you for waiting. So just acknowledging the passengers will make them realize that we do care about them. Another recommendation is let passengers be aware of queuing time through the app. That way there's more speed and efficiency. We are the last people that passengers see here at SFO, so we want to provide that great customer service. And not only are we representing Cathay Pacific, but we're also representing San Francisco International Airport. And then third is to stay consistent as well. To stay consistent, we want to recognize our employees, how well they're doing, and that will just motivate them to keep doing or keep improving. And I wrote, happy employees equal happy passengers. And that'll be